Good morning. This is Karen with Veronica's Tarot, and this is our little daily reading. Very interesting energies. Keep in mind when I'm reading, this is the Black Cat Tarot, and for learning purposes as well, I always look at the booklets because the meanings in some of these cards are a little bit different, especially this deck and the Barbier deck. And And I think it's important to embrace those meanings as much as the traditional meanings as well. But they're pretty similar. They're a little different though. So when I'm reading this, understand that. The Two of Wands in this deck talks about inner and outer conflict, and that we can't move ahead until we can come to a resolution with that conflict. And this particular card to me looks like that's what's happening. Some people are together, two people are together, they are arm wrestling actually. So here's the back and forth part of the Two of Wands, right? That there is some stuckedness. Weird word, but that's what it is. And I think that comes from the Ace. So the Ace of Wands is our present influence. This talks about creativity, specifically inspiration. It is starting something new, absolutely, but from that point of view, that excited, creative onslaught of what's happening. And I feel like there's something that's really important to you that you want to start, but there's a conflict. That's where the two comes in. And because this influence is about starting something new, the Two of Wands is the situation, which is the conflict piece, the working out, the back and forth, the that feeling of should I do this, should I not? I'm going to tell you too before I go on, the Ace of Cups was at the bottom of the deck, and I really just thought this energy was overall super sweet and super good. The Ace of Wands also in this present influence reminds me of adoring something. And that's why I was like, kind of excited to see that Ace of Cups, because he's painting her sitting up on that branch. And to me, that's looks like someone appreciating, adoring, while he is creating, because he's creating a piece of art. There's also just this really wonderful feeling in that card. That Ace of Wands, I love. So, but it's leading to that conflict. Now there's that decision. The Knight of Pentacles, I love that he's looking this way. He is looking at what's happening here. So your future influence is a little bit of hindsight as well. Going, this is where I'm at. This is the conflict. It's going to take some time to work out. But he's a seed planter. He takes his time. He's planting his seeds. He's learning as he goes. He's still a knight. He is on a horse. So there is movement, but it's just not super fast. And I don't feel like the Ace of Wands in this particular deck is fast either, although I do love it. And I just put the bottom of the deck was that Ace of Cups. So I feel like there's something really new starting here. And the Ace of Cups to me is also about creativity. This Ace of Wands is a lot about creativity. So they're and close to your heart. Keep that in mind. So this is something that I just feel is really, really good. But in the future, you're going to be, it's going to be moving slow. It's not going to necessarily go as quick as you wish. And then the moon as advice in this deck specifically, there is the last sentence on the little explanation of the moon says, let your intuition guide you. And I believe that with the moon, sometimes, and the star, when we look up to the sky to, get our answers, our questions answered, or our prayers answered. Sometimes, people look down, sometimes people look up. I look up, and whether it's the moon there, the sun there, stars there, it doesn't matter. There's the sky. And to me in this deck too, he's looking like, this is about, not allowing our fears to guide us too. So keep that in mind. When you're moving forward with this, it's a pretty important thing. I believe. So whatever this conflict is, it's really important to you. And it's good because you have that Knight of Pentacles in the future influence, which means it's moving. There is hindsight. I don't believe it's backward movement. I feel like this, it's a keeping an eye on the prize as you move forward, basically, understanding what you want. The conflict, you will get there. But the moon is, don't let your fears guide you. Let your intuition guide you. And I think that's the most important piece of this whole reading. So whatever the situation is to you, let your intuition guide you. It's going to be really important in the near future.